Welcome to the introduction of ArcGIS Experience Builder. I'm Jianxia Song, Product Manager. With me is Ken Haber-Wilker, Solution Engineer for National Government. Where we'd like to start is the user apps, then take an overview of the product, dive into building blocks, finish with the roadmap. The Land Hub application helps find sites for housing-led developments in England. You can filter sites by its marketing status like pipeline, sold, or search the site you're interested in and take a close look at it, properties. You can also view it with 360 imagery. Woods on the right, ocean on the left. Not bad. Another one. Nice. The local map information shows facilities in the area like schools, train stations, or retail stores. You can also submit inquiries about the site using the form. Lastly, this window opens a PDF guide on how to use the app. As you see, it integrates with Survey 123 dashboards and 360 imagery from Kula. The hub site from International Monetary Fund focuses on the economic perspective of climate change. The countries page is built with Experience Builder. You can select or search a country. To take a look at its economic activity and climate indicators. This multi-page interaction from Experience Builder complements Hub, helping deliver an engaging and complete web experience. Alaska Herring Service is a classic web app. Using bookmarks, navigate the map. You can also use the button here to get more information. This app is simple, yet modern. For more user apps, check out Experience Builder Gallery on the product page. Experience Builder enables you to create web apps and web pages without coding. Use a template or start from scratch to create the exact web experience you want. These key features set it apart from alternatives. With flexible layouts, you have options not only building the house, but also designing the footprint of the house, in addition to tract homes. 2D and 3D integration is the DNA of Experience Builder. Most of the widgets are designed to work with maps regardless of whether they have scene layers or feature layers. It also integrates with other apps like Survey 123 and dashboards to streamline the process. On the mobile, less is more. Choose widgets to be displayed only on the desktop, but not on the mobile for optimization. Widgets are interconnected with each other. They are aware of each other's existence and respond accordingly. So apps become intelligent. All of them are powered by a rich set of widgets and templates. You may wonder what kind of apps we can build. In addition to classic full-screen web apps, we can build web pages, 3D, gallery, portal, survey, etc., and optimize dashboards on mobile as well. Essentially, Experience Builder is a canvas for limitless creativity. It has 3 editions, available in ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise 10.8.1 and up. Developers can download the Developer Edition from the developer's website. As part of the Essential Apps bundle, you must have a Creator or GIS professional user type to create apps. For developers who don't have ArcGIS organizational accounts, use developers' subscriptions. Let's take a quick tour with Kenny.
We'll start creating our first experience using a template. In this case, we'll choose the Launchpad template, which should be familiar to many of you Web App Builder users. We'll start by naming our application. In this case, we'll call it Glacier National Park app. Next, we'll go ahead and connect to our data sources. Now, because Experience Builder enables you to seamlessly transition between 2D and 3D data, we can bring in a 2D web map and 3D web scene and connect them both to our map widget. Now, let's go ahead and adjust the title. Experience Builder offers flexible layout options where you're able to easily configure and modify all aspects of the application without having to do any custom development or extensions. Next, we'll go ahead and add in a second page using a blank full screen template. And we'll call this Map and rename our first page to Home. Now, Experience Builder enables you to create complex multi-page, full screen or scrolling applications and enable us to move between these pages and view content on the second page. We'll first add in a map and then add in a menu widget that's going to allow us to transition seamlessly between the first page and the second page. We'll move the menu widget up towards the top of the header and then use some of the advanced properties to customize its look and feel of its text so that it's easier to see it on top of the orange background. Finally, because Experience Builder offers mobile adaptive views, we'll go ahead into our mobile experience and configure a couple of different views just to enable us to customize the look and feel and add the header back in to our mobile experience. We'll start by turning off the search in the map, and then we'll just add in a simple text and our app name. Finally, we'll go ahead and resize the text and make it a bit darker so it's easier to see. Center it, and now we have our app name for our mobile view. We'll go ahead and save and preview our application. When we launch it, we're able to view our configured experience and transition seamlessly between 3D and 2D maps, view our widgets at the bottom that we've configured, and move back and forth between our multiple pages. Lastly, if we transition into a mobile view, we're able to see the mobile configured view for our experience.
Thanks, Ken. You can configure in Experience by assembling these blocks together: template, widget, data source, and theme. Configuring in Experience starts with a template. There are 2 types of templates. The full screen is for web apps and scrolling page for web pages. There are many default templates you can choose from. You can also get started with other templates from online, My Organization, etc. There are two types of widgets, basic and layout. The latter controls the arrangement of the former. The basic widgets carry on functions like map, list, and survey. Generally, a widget has three properties: content, style, and action. In the content, you connect widgets to data and choose options like turning on the search tool on the map. The style property allows you to adjust the width and height of the widget, as well as where you want it to be on the page. You can also fine-tune its appearance with background, border, and box shadow. Animations are visual effects that occur when a widget appears or is in transition. For example, in the 2D and 3D face-off, an effect takes place when a 2D view moves to a 3D view. Action enables widgets to talk with each other. There are two types of actions: data action and message action. Data action like export to CSV provides options for end users to take on, while message action automatically applies. As the data action is straightforward, we are going to focus on the message action. It involves three parts: trigger, target, and action. The trigger is a message from a source widget like extend changes from map 1. The target is the responder to the trigger, which could be a widget or data. Experience Builder is data-driven, therefore data are shared at the app level, which we often refer as framework. The action is what the target does. In the table, the message extend change is triggered by map 1. If map 2 is the target, the action could be zoomed to the same area as map 1. If data is the target, the action could be filtering data records that may result in the list widget only showing features within the current map extent. Let's see a demo for a better idea.
For our next experience, we'll start with a blank template. And in this experience, we're going to focus on having widgets communicate with each other, and customizing them with our data sources. So we'll start by going ahead and connecting to our data sources again. In this case, we'll start with the same web map and web scene that we had in our previous demo. Then we'll add in a map widget and customize its location and place on the page to better fit our application. We'll then go ahead and connect that map to both our web scene and web map. Then we'll go ahead and add in an additional widget. In this case, we'll go ahead and include the widget controller, which enables us to include multiple widgets in an easy-to-use compact location. And here we'll go ahead and actually add in a new widget, which is called the table widget. With our table widget, we'll go ahead and add in a new sheet and configure it to our places of interest location in Glacier National Park. Now with those first two widgets configured, we'll go ahead and add in our third widget, which will be a list widget. We'll adjust the list widget to fit our page. And the great thing about list widgets is they come already configured with a bunch of templates that can really jumpstart your creation of them. We'll go ahead and tell it to take up the entire height of the page and then connect it to that same underlying Glacier National Park's location data source. Now, in this case, we're going to go ahead and create some dynamic text based off attributes within our data. Here, we'll take the location name and resize the box a bit. And we'll also connect it to a dynamic image, which is an attribute in our feature service. In this case, we'll use the photo attribute to go ahead and have it dynamically populate the location. Now, we'll also use the content, style, and action panes to add a bit more configuration to the widget. Here, for states, we'll go ahead and customize the color of the border that'll be around the widget and increase its boldness when it's selected. We'll also go ahead and add in a tool, in this case, a sort tool, and we'll let people sort off of whether there's a photo or not. And we'll go ahead and just label that photo. Additionally, we could use the style widget, the style pane to ensure that it fits and feels right within our application using some very easy to use tools to configure the location of the widget within the application. Now, finally, once that's set, we're going to go ahead and configure some actions using the action pane. So we'll begin by targeting two separate types of sources. Within Experience Builder, you can either target widgets on an individual basis or target the framework, meaning the underlying data source within the entire application. We'll start by targeting the map and having the list widget pan and flash to the Glacier National Park's points of interest whenever one's selected on the map. Additionally, we'll also target the entire Glacier National Park data source across all three of our widgets, the table, map, and list widget, and filter the data records based off the selected feature, meaning the expected behavior we should see when a feature is selected is that the list will filter, the map will filter, and the table widget will filter because we're targeting the underlying data source and not just an individual record or widget. So once that's done, we'll actually go ahead and save our application, and before previewing it, we'll adjust the theme to something a bit darker just to kind of fit with the feel of our application. Now, when we preview our application, we can see that when we select Lake McDonald Lodge, it'll go ahead and filter its location on the list, on the map, and if we open our table up, we'll notice it's also the only selected feature within our table. Additionally, if we unselect it and select the headquarters building, you'll notice our map pans and flashes to the location of the headquarters building on the map because we targeted that specific widget. Beyond that, each individual attribute has both its text and feature dynamically populated, and every time we'll click on it, the map widget will be targeted for those two specific actions, and the underlying data framework will be targeted, filtering all three widgets in our experience.
That's great! The layout widgets are containers to organize basic widgets. You can mix them together. I'd like to highlight the section widget. It is a container with multiple views, a great way to organize your content. Kane will demonstrate it shortly. For details on other layout widgets, please visit Designing Apps with Style and Layout technical session. Back to Kane.
Now we're going to focus on how you can set up the same pages to easily navigate between different views and widgets. In this case, we're going to continue to work with the same application that we're using in our previous example and add some additional functionality to it. We'll start by adjusting the layout of our existing widgets, both the map and list widget in this case. Now, here, we're going to go ahead and add in a new type of widget, which is a section widget. And we'll go ahead and add in our map to the section widget and use a table of contents to go ahead and connect the section widget, resize it a bit, and add both of our widgets inside of it. Then we'll just quickly go ahead and continue to use the flexibility of Experience Builder to customize it a bit further, re-expand our map, and move our table over a bit more, and adjust them slightly. So now that we have one section, we're going to go ahead and add in an additional view. Views are a great way to add in different widgets and applications all within the same page without kind of overwhelming the user all at once by displaying them all within the same interface. Within a section, you can have multiple views, and in this case, we'll add in a view 1 that we'll go ahead and call Explore. And view 1 will really be focused on what we did create in our last application, where you can explore different locations across Glacier National Park. Now, view 2 will be called Feedback. And in view 2, we're going to focus on using some new functionality in Experience Builder, focused on integration between Survey123 and the map widget to allow users to give feedback to different locations they've explored across Glacier National Park. So within this section, we're going to go ahead and add in a survey widget and size it to fit. We'll select an existing survey and then customize its look and feel to match the rest of our application. And then we'll also add in a map. Resize it and connect it to our Glacier National Parks map. Now in this case, since we have that existing survey, we're going to go ahead and connect the survey to the map. And we'll choose the map widget we just added and our National Parks place of interest. And we'll just quickly match the fields in the feature service to the survey questions so that we can auto-populate them when we select a feature. And this even includes the geometry, so we'll match the point location to the location on the map and save our application. Now, finally, to enable us to easily navigate back and forth between the two views, we'll include a view navigation widget, and we'll use our tools to snap it to the horizontal center of our application, and we'll customize its look a bit more, just to add a little more detail and context to it. Now, finally, we'll go ahead and go back to the outline, select our section, and we'll use the style pane to add in a transition animation. In this case, we'll use the cube animation, although there's a bunch of other ones we can use, and we can even change the direction in which they rotate. All right, so we'll save our application and go ahead and preview it. Now, when our application loads, we have this great place where we can come and explore locations across Glacier National Park, just as we did in the previous demonstration. Then, once we've explored places and we want to give feedback on them, we can go and select a specific location. So, for example, we'll select this shuttle stop along Lake McDonald, and you'll notice it auto-populates the information in the survey since we've connected the two, adds some feedback. It even maps the location on the map and submit the survey. And we can do this all because we're just using these dynamic sections to navigate back and forth in our experience.
Data source. Experience Builder provides unified data management, so data is available to all widgets. Moreover, you can see connections between layers, widgets, and fields, and set auto-refresh intervals to pick up changes in the data. A data source may have 4 views, 3 built-in and 1 data view. Understanding them will help you choose the right data source view to connect with. You may use the option of View for Empty Selection to configure which feature to show when there is no selection yet. Data View is a subset of data source you can create through filtering and sorting. You may use Data View to pre-process data or prevent widgets from interfering with each other. Here comes the demo.
In this demo, we're going to focus on creating dynamic data views in Experience Builder. Data views enable you to create custom perspectives of your data based off sorting, filtering, or other options. In this application, we've already set up our widgets, and we're going to want to configure a couple of data views to ensure that this application is always appealing and usable to our end users immediately upon being opened. To start, we'll go into our data sources and create our first view for our places of interest layer. In this case, we'll go ahead and sort based off of the URL field, which contains a link to a live webcam that we can use in our embed widget. Then we'll select View for Empty Selection and go ahead and sort off the photo field. Now, this also ensures that our dynamic image is populated immediately upon the application being open, ensuring that there's always something to catch our users' eye when they come in. Now we'll go ahead and connect our list to our national parks data and to our data view 1 that we've configured. Then we'll go ahead and connect our embed widget to our national parks location and to the attribute URL. Noting that the webcam will automatically come up since we've connected it to a specific data view. We'll go ahead and save and preview our application. And now when it loads, we're immediately greeted with a webcam for Lake McDonald. And if we click on each one, we'll go ahead and see the corresponding webcam and image for that given location, ensuring that even when the application opens and every time it's selected, we're creating an engaging experience for our users.
Great! In addition to the data that you manually add to the app, Query and the chart can generate a new output feature layer at runtime, which can be used by other widgets like table, text, etc. by simply selecting them under the Outputs tab. Another important aspect of data source is dynamic content. You can dynamically display attribute, values, statistics, or expressions from a feature layer using widgets like text, button, image, etc. An example is that you have a feature layer that contains URLs to websites, and you want to use a button as a link to open the website associated with a selected feature. The diagram illustrates the steps to create a dynamic link button and link text. You can also display feature count or other statistics and use the expression editor to combine all together. Here comes the demo.
For this demo, we're going to focus on how to create dynamic content based off your data. If you remember in the previous demonstration on data views, we were able to dynamically link to different embedded webcams and images using our attribute in the places of interest feature class that we have. Now this time, we're going to link out to web pages that contain additional information on these places of interest, as well as enable you to view it live on a webcam in a new tab based off the selected feature. Here, we've already configured a list with our place of interest, and now we'll add a button to link to our website of interest. We'll configure the button a bit to match the rest of our application and connect it to data. In this case, we'll connect it to our Glacier National Park's point of interest, and we'll set the link to be a web address based off of an attribute, which is going to be our website URL. And we'll go ahead and change the text to learn more, so it's informative about what you're going to do when you click on the button. Next, we'll go ahead and use a text widget and add that in to essentially enable users to click on the text to link out to a live webcam showing that location on a new tab. Here, we'll add the text, view it live, and we'll go ahead and resize the text to be a bit larger and also a bit darker and blue to match the rest of our application. Finally, we'll go ahead and add in a link. And since when we have the data, we'll then link to a new web address. In this case, we'll use the attribute URL and go ahead and link to our webcam. We'll save our application. And now when we preview our application and we select a location, for example, Lake McDonald Lodge, and we click Learn More, it'll link us out to a web page with additional information, as well as give us a webcam from that area. And the same thing will happen when we click the headquarters building. We'll view the visitor center and the webcam associated with that location. And the same would go if we clicked on any other location within our feature service, it would link to the corresponding website and webcam to that location.
Thanks, Ken. As mentioned earlier, Experience Builder integrates with other apps. You can pass the attribute values and the geometries from a feature layer on the map to the questions on the survey. You can even pass dynamic URLs from your web experience to an embedded dashboard as its URL parameters. Let's take a look at how Ken works with dashboards and output data.
In this next demonstration, we're going to show a more complex way to bring together dynamic embedded content and create a chart at runtime using a widget's output. We'll start here with a multi-page experience that has a list widget of our places of interest already configured. First, we'll bring in an embed widget. After we've configured the widget to take up the appropriate amount of space, we'll then connect the embed widget to data, in this case, choosing our places of interest feature service once again. Here, we'll select a specific data view we've configured for the widget and click the data icon to then select the specific features we want to use as our attributes. Here, we'll use the URL parameter feature. After using this parameter as our dynamic embedded content, we'll see an operations dashboard with URL parameters attached to it appear within our embed widget. We'll take a look a bit more at how this information is passed back and forth between the experience once we view it live. Now, dashboards are powerful visualization and real-time analysis tools. However, sometimes we want to just include a simple chart that calls out trends in the data and even can consume output information from other layers. Here, we'll transition to our chart page in the experience, where we've already loaded in a map widget and pre-configured query widget to filter our features by the point type. First, we'll drag and drop in a chart widget and expand it to fit our page. Next, we'll connect our chart to its data source. In this case, instead of taking input data, we'll go ahead and select the output of our query 1. Now, once we've selected that output, we'll go ahead and select our chart type, being mindful of the layout and space available within our experience. Then, we can proceed to customize the chart. In this case, we'll select the category field to be point type, matching our query, and we'll use our statistic to be the sum of visits in 2019 and 2020 to each place of interest in Glacier National Park. Additionally, we can always customize the look and feel of this chart by modifying the colors as we so choose and changing the shading, gradient, and text that appears across the axis, as well as enabling individuals to select and zoom across the chart. Finally, we'll go into our action for our chart, and while data actions to export has already been configured, we'll configure one message action. In this case, we're going to go ahead and select data records across the framework for all related features, and then map the fields together. Now we'll save and preview our application. When the application loads, we're greeted with an overview dashboard showcasing all the critical information we need to know about Glacier National Park. Then, when we search for a specific location, in this place, Lake McDonald, and hit enter, we'll have the URL parameters dynamically passed between the experience and dashboard, enabling us to filter down to the 2 Lake McDonald locations we're interested in, and then giving us the additional information that we can view seamlessly integrated between the dashboard and experience. Transitioning to the chart page, we're able to see the 3 widgets we've configured. Now, running a quick query, in this case, we'll go ahead and view all lodging locations and applying that query. We'll notice that we've targeted the chart to select the specific lodging we're interested in. Now, what's really great here is that this only executes when the user selects the specific location. So if we were to go back and select campground, this is taking the output of that query and then passing it dynamically over to the chart. At the same time, if we were to remove that query and select just features on the chart, we could then pass that information back onto the other widgets since we've dynamically enabled selection to be done at the framework level.
Well done. Theme is to define the overall look and feel of the app. You have options to choose color and font. Other building blocks. A window is for information and confirmation. You can use the window to display a splash screen or show an alert message nearby a button when clicked. Page is the backbone of Experience Builder. You can turn on the header and footer of the page. The outline becomes handy when widgets are nested on the page. It helps you navigate the widgets and select the right one to modify. Screen group is a layout with multiple screens on a scrolling page, providing engaging and modern web experiences. Let's see the demonstration.
For this next demonstration, we're going to use a scrolling application instead of a full screen one. Now, applications in Experience Builder can be both scrolling and full screen, depending on what templates you include on each page. Here, we're going to focus on a new feature in Experience Builder, Screen Groups, which is a powerful way to jumpstart your scrolling application and add some immediate configurations to it. Here, we'll select the flyer screen group that we're interested in and go ahead and configure the map to be connected to our web map and web scene of Glacier National Park. You'll notice that the screen group has already gone ahead and pre-configured a map and scrolling bookmark tab that we can use to jumpstart our configurable application. Now, we'll come into here and configure our first bookmark to take us on a tour around Glacier National Park. We'll start in 2D near the entrance to the park, where we'll configure an initial bookmark around the ArcGIS entrance area near where the park headquarters is. We'll go ahead and save that, and we'll name that bookmark ArcGIS. We'll also give it a quick description just to help people understand what we're looking at. Then we'll go ahead and select an image. In this case, we'll just use a custom image that we'll upload as our bookmark. Now for the same bookmark tab, we're going to go ahead and actually add a second bookmark. And we'll call this one ArcGIS 3D because we're going to zoom in around the park entrance and pan into our 3D scene and take a look down Lake McDonald to view some of the great mountains we have in the background of our entrance area. Go ahead and save that, and we'll name it ArcGIS 3D. Now that we've configured this first set of bookmarks, we'll go ahead and scroll down to one more and configure the bookmark right here to give us one additional 3D view. Here, we're going to go ahead and look back on the entrance of Lake McDonald where we were just viewing from ArcGIS area and almost get a view from the mountaintop down the lake towards the entrance. And we'll just call this bookmark Mountaintop. and we'll use a snapshot of our 3D scene. Now with our application configured, we'll go ahead and save and preview it and take a tour through Glacier National Park using our pre-configured screen group. We'll start at the entrance where we just saw our uploaded photo near AppGAR. And within the same bookmark tab, we'll then transition into 3D to look down Lake McDonald. Then we'll move to our third and final bookmark that we've configured, which is this mountaintop view, again with that same custom image. This is a screenshot of the view that we have.
Is that cool? You may use less widgets on the mobile. To do so, the key is to move widgets to the pending list other than delete them, so they are only available on the desktop. Here comes the demo for mobile optimization.
In our last demo, we'll walk through how to deliver mobile-friendly dashboards using Experience Builder in what we'll call 2 dashboards, 1 intelligent URL. We'll start with a blank full-screen application and add in an embed widget. And we'll have the embed widget take up the entire screen size. Then we'll grab the URL of our full-screen dashboard and enter it as the URL for our embed widget. Then we'll go to our mobile device configuration. Here, you'll notice our embed widget is already in the pending list, meaning it's part of our greater experience, but won't display on a smaller screen device. Now, we'll add in another embed widget for our mobile experience and set that to take up the full screen. Now, we'll get the URL of our mobile dashboard and add it as the URL for our mobile embedded experience. Finally, we'll go ahead and add in a window or a splash screen. Now, windows are a great way to add some information to users or talk about compliance or understanding how to use an application when someone first enters it. And the great thing about them is that they're responsive on both full screen and mobile applications. We'll go ahead and save and then preview our application. And you'll notice that when it loads, we're already gone ahead and we're greeted with our window. And if we move into a mobile experience, we have that same window there. We can agree to the terms and conditions. And you'll notice that we're within the same URL, but able to move between the mobile dashboard and the full screen one because Experience Builder is auto-detecting the screen size and adjusting the layout to serve us the correct size dashboard.
Thanks, Kenny. Publishing is the process that moves apps from draft to published status. Once you publish the app, you can edit and test updates without affecting the live app. When the app has the subscriber content from Living Atlas, you will be prompted to authorize access from your account, so end users are not asked to sign in. You may generate a template as your own starters for reuse or consistent branding. Roadmap. In the third quarter, we plan to have the standalone search widget that can be placed anywhere on the map or on the page. The oriented imagery allows you to exploit street side photos and 360 imageries in 2D and 3D. In the near term, we plan to have print, utility network trace, elevation profile, and business analyst. In the long term, only popular core widgets are listed here, and there are more to migrate. We are working on accessibility and plan to have it available next year around UC. Here are helpful resources, including documentation and user community. Also, check out these templates in ArcGIS Online. They are created by the development team, showcasing new capabilities in each release. Kenny and I would appreciate your feedback and thank you for watching this presentation.